Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ellie from Studio Chocolate, and this week I had a really exciting project of making a wedding cake. You may have seen it on Instagram. It's a 3-tiered wedding cake with white chocolate shards all down the side, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made them. So I'm going to show you how I tempered them, how I made them white, and how I crinkled them. So I hope you enjoy. Please, if you have any questions, comment below, and don't forget to hit subscribe.
So we're going to start off by tempering our white chocolate, and this is just to give it the good crack and shininess that chocolate has. So I've just melted this to about 35-40 degrees, and I'm just going to stir out those remaining lumps of chocolate so that we're ready to start with our ice bath. So now it's all melted, I'm going to grab an ice bath. I'm going to start off with just cold water just because I don't want to shock the chocolate too much, and I'm going to cool this down to about 26 degrees. So at the moment it's at about 36, so we need to bring it down about 10 degrees. I'll probably bring it down to about 25 just to make sure. So the key to a good temper is to constantly stir it and constantly make sure all of the outsides are the same temperature as the insides, making sure that there's no cold areas against the warm areas, just making sure it's all the same temperature. So this is just one method of tempering, and this is the way I got taught at school, so I've never had a problem with it, but we'll go through other ways of tempering in another video. So right now we're at 33 degrees, so I'm just going to add some ice to it just so that it speeds up the process a little bit because it can be a bit tedious. So like I say, just constantly stirring, and we're at 31 now, so it's already coming down quite a lot. So we're finally at 26 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is take it off the ice bath and just give it a good stir and make sure that all of that cold chocolate around the edge of the bowl is mixed in with the warmer chocolate on the inside, making sure that it's all exactly the same temperature. So you can see the consistency is a lot thicker than just normal melted chocolate. And what we're going to do now is get it over the heat and just bring it up 2 degrees to about 28 degrees, and this just makes it a little bit thinner, a bit easier to work with, but doesn't overheat it, so it's still in temper. So that's what I've just done, and you can see now that it is at 28-ish degrees, and it's now ready to use to make our white chocolate shards. So now we're going to add some titanium dioxide, which is just a food colouring to make the chocolate more white, because white chocolate isn't really white, is it? So we just sieve it in and just give it a good stir, and this just makes it a really nice colour, really nice like ivory kind of colour, and perfect for this wedding cake. So now we're ready to make our white chocolate shards. So I'm just going to ladle some of this chocolate onto some greaseproof paper, and we're just going to spread it out evenly with a mini palette knife. So I'm going to make this one quite like a medium sized one, not too big, not too small, and just spreading it out completely over the paper. You don't want it too thin because they would snap really easily, but also if they're too thick, they're just too heavy for the cake. So now onto the crinkling. We need a few little bits of masking tape to stick down the paper. So we're just going to stick down one corner first, and then I'm going to kind of scrunch up the greaseproof paper into whatever shape you like. So it's quite nice because it's quite random. There's no specific way of doing it, but you just stick down that corner then, and can you see how it's created like a crinkled kind of effect? And this is just literally moving your paper around and creating whatever kind of crinkle you want, where you want your bends and corners to be. So with that now, I'm going to leave it to set. Shouldn't take too long because it's been tempered. It should only take about 10 minutes. And now it's set, and basically you know it's set when it doesn't move, but it's not ready to have the paper peeled off it yet. So we're going to just take off all of the masking tape, and we're going to just get it in the freezer. This just makes it a little bit easier for us to peel it off and have no breakages. So this is quite a nice one because it's not too crinkled, but it's got a few bends in there. So it's just gone into the freezer, and now I'm going to show you one with more of a roll on it. So I'm going to use a bottle of our cocoa butter, but you can use anything you have in your kitchen. So like a rolling pin or a ladle, it just depends how big you want the curve. So I'm just going to lay it on top of it and tape down the greaseproof paper, and it just creates a natural curve really. And then I'm going to use another one to create another curve. So you get like a wave almost. So some people call these sails. And I'm going to put this one on the top of the cake because it's got a nice wave to it and it just gives it an extra bit of height. So I'm going to crinkle this one as well, just so that it matches the rest of the shards and it's all like in line and all looks really good together. So I'm just going to play around with it until I get the shape that I want. And I think that I'm quite happy with that one. So again, I'm just going to let this set, and as soon as it's set, I'm going to get it into the freezer. So while that's setting, I'm just going to go ahead and make a few more shards for the cake. So now that it's set out of the freezer, we can start to peel the paper off. So as you can see, it's completely set. There's a few little cracks, but that's okay. It's quite a random shape anyway, so if a little bit falls off, it's not the end of the world. I'll probably break them up anyway when I'm starting to put them on the cake. So the best way to do this is to peel the paper from the shard from the back. So you just want to do it gently. You don't want to make any harsh movements because it can snap very easily, like you see just at the bottom of the screen there. We've got a slight breakage, so you just want to peel it all off, and then your shard is finished. So I'm going to use the other side, the side that was on the greaseproof paper, because you get a flatter finish, and I'm also going to dust them with a bit of gold dust before I put them on the cake.
So that was how I made the crinkled white chocolate shards for the outside of the cake. If you want to see how I assembled the whole thing, please continue to watch the next video and I show you everything from layering up the sponges to adding the final touch of gold leaf at the end. So thanks for watching and see you next time.